This body doesn't feel like mine, but I guess here we are. Alters can be anything, and that includes being a different gender from the body or other alters. Being an alter that is a different gender than the body can of course cause gender dysphoria. That is something I believe I experience worse than any of the other male alters in our system, but I also front significantly more than them, so I may have just had more time to notice it. But, of course, while it is common for systems to have alters who are a different gender than the body and to experience gender dysphoria, that is not a universal experience. Also, just because an alter's gender matches that of the body's doesn't mean that they can't experience some form of dysphoria around the mismatch between how they look internally and how the body looks. This is commonly based in the dissociative experience of depersonalization, where a person dissociates from things about themselves and feels like they are wrong in some way. Alters that are a different gender from the body usually form due to what the system thought would have made them more safe, or how the system felt like they were being treated. There are commonly some forms of gender stereotypes that are involved, such as viewing men as inherently stronger, or thinking that being a different gender would make one less susceptible to different crimes or traumas. But, of course, every system is different. Every reason for an alter existing as they do is different. And you do not need to know why an alter is the gender that they are for them to be that gender. Gender doesn't always make sense in general, let alone when you add the complexity of being a system on top of that. But now to the introductions, as in this video, some of our male alters will be introducing themselves. Starting with me. I am Hunter. I am 38. I form to be sort of like a bodyguard for the system. I am very much an external physical protector, and I tend to be focused more on fighting back against those who try to force us to be a specific way and fit into specific boxes, especially around life goals and work. I very much look like a more stereotypical bodyguard internally. I have short brown hair and brown eyes and some very short facial hair. My home is in the suburbs of the inner world, but I tend to be closer to front than that most of the time. I have existed for just over 2 years, and I front more than I would like. As I mentioned earlier, I front more than the other male alters in our system. I am one of the more external-facing ones as far as my role is concerned. My favorite color is hunter green, and I don't really have much in the way of interests or hobbies. I tend to be too focused on protecting us to really have much in the way of downtime, and I'm not really sure how to exist outside of my role and find things that I would actually enjoy. But I think that is all I have to say about myself. So I will turn it over to the next alter, who will be introducing themselves. Hello. I am Fenrir. I am ageless, and I am an external, physical, and emotional protector. I formed about 1.5 to 2 years ago to handle harassment from a specific person online. No, I will not be saying who. I formed alongside my son in the system, whose name is Phoenix. He has more of a carefree way of handling it, while I am more of the active protector. We are both hellhounds. We are made of a black mist that can solidify into the shape of a wolf. And we have eyes that are made of fire. We live in the mountains of our inner world. I front fairly regularly to deal with online harassment. Phoenix does not front that much, but I'm sure he would enjoy to. He is very social, and I'm honestly surprised he fronts as little as he does. My favorite color is maroon. I haven't spent much time thinking about my interests and hobbies because I have a fairly intensive role that takes up a lot of my time. I do enjoy spending time with and taking care of my son in the inner world, though. He is a handful with how much energy he has, but he can also help ground me and help me to see the more positive aspects of life that I tend to miss. But I think that is all I can think of to say about myself. I will turn it over to the next alter now, so that they can introduce themselves. I am the demon. If it isn't obvious from my name, there will be vague mentions of things related to religion in my introduction. I will also be talking about a lot of my persecutor mentalities, so if those are triggering things for you, just be warned, I guess. As I have been recovering, I have thought about potentially choosing a human name for myself. I used to avoid human names because I thought they were beneath me as a demon, which is why I have historically gone by a title instead of a name. So far, the only name that I have thought of potentially going by is Adam, as somewhat symbolic of my acceptance of my own ability to make mistakes. But I have still yet to officially change my name, as there are still plenty of times where names feel beneath me. I am an interject of our primary abuser in childhood. This abuser has bipolar, and our lack of understanding of that as a child made us interpret the vast changes in how they treated us day to day as them being possessed by a demon when they were hurting us, which is why I interjected as a demon, because we saw the demon as more of our abuser than the person themselves, even though the demon obviously did not exist. As our abuse was so random and we couldn't predict it, I formed to bring more consistency to it, because not knowing when the abuse was going to occur was traumatic for us in and of itself. I had the mentality that making mistakes of any kind was inherently something that should be punished. That those who made mistakes needed to be removed from the equation so that the innocent could be protected. I have spent a significant amount of my existence attempting to destroy the others in the system internally. The fact that I am able to front now is a significant sign of my healing, as the others can trust that I will not attempt to do any harm internally. But I am still in the process of recovery. There are plenty of things that still trigger me back into more of a persecutor mentality and behavior. But in being a demon, I thought I was above humanity, above making mistakes, above all the flaws that come with being human, which is obviously untrue. Internally, I am made of a black smoke-like substance. When I'm in more of a demonic form, my shape is similar to that of the genies in Aladdin, which is why the face claim that I use is a heavily edited picture of Jafar in genie form from Aladdin. And my eyes are made of fire, and I have bronze teeth. I am extremely large and seem to go on for infinity, and I like portraying myself that way. But as I have been recovering, I have taken a more human form. I am still made of the same black smoke-like substance, but I tend to look more like a large, muscly man in form over more of a demonic form. I live in the Darklands in our inner world with the other, more violent persecutors. And I was one of the first alters to exist in the system. I am very uncomfortable speaking out here, as the body's voice cannot go nearly as low as mine is internally. The others in the system have always described my voice as sounding like it comes from the depths of hell itself, with how deep it is. My favorite color is midnight red, and I am still discovering myself and recovering So I am still developing my interests and understanding myself more in those aspects. But I think I have divulged enough about myself for now. So I will turn it over to the next altar. Hey everyone, I am Liam. I am 20. I've been questioning my sexuality for a while. I know that women like me, because I know Claire's had a crush on me for forever. And I'm still trying to figure out if I like women or men or both. I've kind of had a 24/7 job in the system for the majority of my existence, so it's not like I've had the time to really sit down and think about who I'm actually attracted to, because I'm our primary physical internal protector. I've been the main one keeping the demon in check and protecting the rest of the system from him. And I still protect the system from Havoc, who is an alter who had worked beside the demon before he started recovering. But as the demon has been recovering, I have had more free time, so I've been trying to focus on myself more and figure out more about what I do and don't like. But that's only been a few months now, so not that far into it. In the inner world, I was kind of designed to be your typical knight in shining armor look. I've got short, straight, dirty blonde hair. My eyes, I think, have settled in a blue-gray. They've changed some as far as color over the years. And while I am that stereotypical knight in shining armor look, I don't like the armor part of that. I typically wear more comfortable clothes internally, like hoodies and jackets and stuff like that. Which, it's weird I dress so warm when I'm in the Darklands all the time, and it's so warm over there. But it's not like we can really feel that in the inner world. I've existed since we were pretty young, not as long as the demon has. But I didn't necessarily form too long after him. And I haven't historically fronted that much, as I had more of an internal role. But if the demon's going to be around front, I'm going to be there too. Because I'm going to be the main one that's going to be making sure nothing goes wrong if he's fronting. Though potentially Lunaria might take that sometimes. Depends on the situation. Because she can't handle the stuff if it happens in the Darklands, but I can. But she can handle if it's anywhere else in the inner world or near front. My favorite color is light cyan. And like with my sexuality, I am still figuring out my interests and what I enjoy doing. Now that I, of course, have a bit more time on my hands. And I don't have a 24/7 job that's keeping me preoccupied. But I think that is all about me. I hope you enjoyed meeting some of our male alters. If you have any questions for any of us, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. We also have a Discord server linked in our description if you'd like to come chat with us there. And I think the others are planning on starting up streaming on Twitch, so I will also try and make sure that's linked in the description if you'd like to go check that out. It would be great if you liked the video if you liked it, and subscribe to see more content like this. If you would like to learn more about how weird identity can be with complex dissociative disorders, you can check out our video up here. Or if you would like to meet more of our alters, you can check out our playlist down here. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.